Good afternoon, everyone. Bonjour à tous. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the Haudenosaunee, the ancestral lands of the Huron-Wendat, and home to many diverse Indigenous peoples, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. My name is Omar Alghabrah, and I am the Member of Parliament for Mississauga-Malton. I'll be your host for today. As we approach the first holiday season in 2 years without any COVID-19 travel restrictions, we are aiming for a smooth operation. The delays that we saw during the summer at airports were unacceptable. We should keep in mind that the surge in travel was beyond anything that we could have anticipated, with passenger volumes up 250%. This is not an excuse, but it is a fact. Our government took action right away. More than 2,000 CATSA screening officers have been hired across the country, and average wait times for passengers are going down. All summer, Minister Alghabrah met with senior leadership at airports and airlines of all sizes across the country. Things are improving, but there's always more work to be done. And we will continue to do everything we can to make sure Canadians are traveling smoothly. As for today, we know that Canadians rely on the aviation industry to provide diverse international air services. Expanding Canada's existing air transport relationships allows airlines to introduce more flight options, which benefit passengers and businesses by providing greater choice and convenience. I'm very pleased to be here with Minister Omar Alghabrah and joining him to make this important announcement today. Please join me in welcoming him to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Equinder. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back here in Mississauga, at home, with my friends, Equinder, Ruby, Maninder, Shavkat. I want to thank them for their support and for being here. And I'm also very pleased to be joined by the Consul General of India, Apurva Shrivastava. Thank you for being here. And certainly with us, Deborah Flint, the CEO of the GTAA. I'm grateful to both of them for their presence as well and their support. Before I continue, I want to take a moment to thank all the workers here at Pearson Airport and across the country for all the hard work they've been doing over the last 2 years. And they continue to do so. They ensure our communities across our country stay connected and help keep our economy strong. Thank you. Today is an important day for the relationship between Canada and India. The Prime Minister this morning already referred to this announcement from Asia. As you know, more than 1 million Canadians are of Indian heritage. There are more international students in Canada from India than from any other country. And in terms of trade, India is Canada's 13th largest trading partner overall. There are more than 100 India-based companies who are finding success in Canadian markets, providing thousands of good jobs for Canadians and Indians alike. And none of this would be possible without the strong connections between our two countries. India is also Canada's 4th largest international air transportation market. These connections help keep Canadian and Indian passengers and businesses connected. So today, I'm excited to announce that we are strengthening this connection through a new expanded air transportation agreement between Canada and India. Aujourd'hui, j'annonce un accord de transport aérien élargi entre le Canada et l'Inde. This new agreement will allow airlines to operate an unlimited number of passenger flights between our two countries, effective immediately. There will also continue to be no limit on the number of cargo flights between Canada and India, so we can continue our strong trade relationship. The previous agreement, which had been in place since 2011, permitted only 35 passenger flights per week for each country. our government's goal has always been to make the lives of Canadians easier. And this is exactly what this new agreement will do. With additional flights, travel to and from India will be made easier and will hopefully allow Canadians and Indians to spend more time with their loved ones. It will also help businesses and tourism in both countries grow and succeed. This expanded air transport agreement will be a very positive step forward for growing relationships between Canada and India. And in closing, I really want to once again reiterate my gratitude to my colleagues, some of whom are standing here and some who are not with us either because they're unable to be here or they're from the West, whether they're MPs from Alberta or British Columbia. Community members have been asking for this for a while. My caucus colleagues have been advocating for this, and I want to take a moment to thank Minister Sindhya, the Indian Minister of Aviation, where I met with him during his visit to Ottawa last May, where he and I discussed this. And for me to be standing here in a short period of time since he and I had a discussion to announcing this agreement is a testament to both our countries' commitments to working together to provide additional services to our citizens. The relationships, the peoples-to-peoples ties between India and Canada has never been stronger, and this is yet again another expression and manifestation of that strength of relationship. So thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it back to Laquinda. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Minister, for sharing the great news with the expansion of the air transport agreement between Canada and India. Now, please join me in welcoming Apurva Shrivastava, Consul General to India in Toronto, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Rahim. Thank you so much, Mr. Alghabrah, Mr. Deborah Kent, Honorable MPs. It's my delight and honor for inviting me to this important event announcing the renewable and expansion of the India-Canada Air Transport Agreement. This is really an important development in our bilateral relationship and a testament of our growing partnership. As we know, India and Canada are natural partners, we are strategic partners, but the foundation of our relationship is the strong people-to-people ties. We have a large Indian diaspora here. Apart from that, we have 700,000 Indian citizens living and working here in Canada. We have, as the Minister has already alluded, the Indian students form the largest chunk of international students coming and studying in Canada. We have currently 230,000 and a lot more ready to come to Canada for the educational purposes. This number of travelers, this has resulted in increased passenger flows between our two countries. Our bilateral trade and investment relationship is also huge. We have the bilateral trade of around $10 billion. But the investment relationship, the Canadian investment in India has grown tremendously. In the last 7 years, it has grown from $5 billion to $60 billion with all the major pension funds and institutional investors investing in India, taking part in India's growth story. So there's a lot of traffic. This has increased. I believe the renewable and expansion of this agreement, it's timely, which greatly benefits both our countries. As been said earlier there was a cap of 35 flights per week. Now it's unlimited. The cargo is unlimited. It will definitely increase a lot of traffic between the two countries. This agreement will also facilitate sharing of knowledge and best practices and also help in fostering collaboration on research and development and aviation business development. The civil aviation industry in India has emerged as one of the fastest growing industries in the nation and is undoubtedly among the fastest growing in the world. We are soon to be number 3 in terms of domestic traffic. It is anticipated that by 2024, India's domestic aviation market will rank third internationally, contributing $30 billion yearly to GDP of India. We are going to build 100 additional airports by 2024. The air fleet is expected to increase from 600 to 1100 by 2027. MRO facilities are another great areas where Canadian companies can invest, and we have seen last week only the inauguration of Bengaluru Airport, Terminal 2 of the Bengaluru Airport by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. And the investment has been done by Canadian company Fairfax, and it's one of the state-of-the-art, sustainable, renewable handicrafts from India. So it's one of the top state-of-the-art airports in India and in the world. So we feel that this will give impetus to more Canadian companies to come and participate in the growth story of India. And today's agreement, it's definitely going to enhance more people-to-people relationship between our two countries. And I want to commend the leadership of Honorable Minister Omar Alghabrah and our Minister, Mr. Jyotirajit Scindia, for their immense leadership, which has led to this agreement. So my best wishes for this agreement, and we hope that all of us will be able to work together to enhance this wonderful partnership. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you so much. I'd now like to invite Deborah Flint, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Greater Toronto Airports Authority, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, MP Gahir, and thank you to all the local officials that are here and present today. What an exciting day this is. Thank you to Consul General Srivastava. Your work reflects the importance of India and Canada's great relationship, one that has wonderful history, but as you spoke about today, the economies that are linked in investing in travel, tourism, and the civil aviation sector certainly bode for having more promise to the future. That promise is certainly enabled by the evolution of the air transport agreement that has, of course, been led and executed by the Honorable Minister of Transport, Omar Alghabrah. Thank you so much, and congratulations on this very important achievement. And it certainly is a pleasure for all of us that this announcement is being made here at Canada's International Gateway, the country's largest airport, Toronto Pearson Airport. Thank you very much. We certainly know that government policies directly affect not just our sector, the great Canadian aviation sector, but the economic opportunity for Canada, the country as a whole. That's why today's announcement is about people, and it is about the economy. On average, across the world, an average international flight is worth $75 million to the economy. This bodes to the story that we have celebrated in the past, where Toronto Pearson directly contributed $42 billion to the province of Ontario's economy. And as being the sixth most internationally connected airport in the world, what a great, important role Toronto Pearson has played, especially pre-pandemic. And we look forward to steps like this that will restore that economic contribution once again. But we certainly know that behind the numbers are the people. It's the people that are traveling for business, those that are traveling because they're students coming here to be educated and to give into the economy of Canada, as well as for tourism. We know that these economic prosperity opportunities benefit both Canada as well as India. This amendment, evolution of the ATA, is an opportunity for more non-stop flights between Canada and India, and we know there is incredible demand for that to happen. So what does that mean? More so, it means more friends and family and culture can be connected between our two countries. Certainly, after 2.5 years of the pandemic effects, the entire GTAA ecosystem is very happy to celebrate this moment today. Congratulations again for all involved. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. That concludes today's announcement, and I'm going to open it up to Nadine to moderate the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now begin with the question and answer portion of this event. It's going to be one question and one follow-up per reporter. Nous allons maintenant commencer avec le période de questions et réponses. C'est une question et into the opportunities. Do we have a first question? You can use the mic over here. Okay.
Hello everyone. So this is Rahul from Parvasi.
Passengers, a worship service will be celebrated at 11 o'clock in the Interfaith Chapel. The Interfaith Chapel is located on level 1 arrivals, across doors as level. Everyone is welcome to attend.
Hi, this is Pramod from Parvasi Media. So we saw that there were active conversations going on between the flights, direct flights from Amritsar to Toronto. It would be great if you could help us with the insights about what is the progress made in the same.
Thank you for the question. And let me just echo what you said. I know many members of our communities have been asking for direct flights to Amritsar. This is a conversation that I have had with Minister Scindia, with other Indian officials. Minister Mary Ng has had. Today's announcement is a step forward in expanding and hopefully getting us there. So we are continuing this conversation with the Indian government, and we hope we can get there someday. But for now, this is an important positive step towards getting us there.
Sorry, do we have any more questions? Okay, great. That concludes the question and answer period. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you.